Bermagui is a picturesque little town on the southeast coast of New South Wales. It was a great place to stop for the next part of our holiday, and we were fortunate enough to have booked the caravan park that was right up at the point at Bermagui. We were across the road from the Woolworths, easy access into town, and could also walk up to the point and do a bit of whale watching. There was one problem with this park, and that was the gutters. The gutters that they had put in around the park were angled so that any vehicle that had low clearance had a terrible time getting in. In fact, we had damage to our A-van coming in. We broke off one of the feet. If you look down to the bottom left of this picture, you'll be able to see where the van kind of wedged into the grass and hit the slab, and that's where we broke the foot off. To get onto this actual slab was a bit of an interesting job. We had to drive it on, and then we had to unhook it while we were sort of parked diagonally across this square, try and do a 350 point turn to get the car out, and then physically turn the van around to where it is now. People around were really helpful, and it wasn't long before we sort of started to chat with other people who were staying at the park, and they were telling us of their similar experiences in their motorhomes and with their caravans, in that they had lots of damage as they were trying to get theirs up onto these slabs as well. So this is something that the park really needs to correct. In terms of facilities, there was a dog bath, an outdoor shower. The amenities came with a key lock for security at night. The toilets and showers themselves were well kept, and there was a bath appointed in the women's, obviously for if you had brought children and you needed to get them washed and cleaned up after their day at the beach. Yep, there's me in the mirror looking mighty dandy. Adjacent to the amenities block was the kitchen. I'm going to have to say, out of all the caravan parks we've stayed in to date, this is the worst kitchen that I have ever looked at. It's all outside. It's not the sort of place that you'd really like to sit and spend a bit of time in, like I've shown you with other kitchens on our channel. This was more a barbecue area, outdoor barbecue area, but even then I've seen better in other parks as well. I've actually stopped the video and put in a couple of freeze frames here just to give you a little bit more insight as to the angle of the road and the size of the gutter and the difficulty when bringing your van into this particular park. It was much like this where we were as well. All that being said, the grounds are excellently maintained and you are very, very close to the action. So this was the only real gripe that we had, and the fact that we'd damaged the John James, of course. There is a lot to see and do in the Bermagui region. We went for a big walk in the morning. We saw some charter boats going out and doing some whale watching. You can go and do some deep sea fishing. Fishing is really popular here. There's also elements of history, and that's what we discovered here this morning. So this is a steamer wharf, and it used to bring trade down to Bermagui and all the way down to Eden, Merimbula and Bega and so on. And then they had to blow it up in 71 because it was unsafe, so they moved the pilings, but we still have got one there. So the one that you see down there, that's the wharf bollard, and that wharf would have went right out, and down on the other side of those little shrubs there you see lots of different pylons. So that was the old wharf, and I'll come back to the sign. This is kind of what it used to look like.
About 75 years.
Yeah, about 75 years, there you go. And there's the Bermagui wharf. And there's a cattle race, so they even brought the cattle down. So there's a cattle race there when they brought the cattle down. So there you go. Bit of Bermagui history. You come crazy. I think you're crazy. We're going down. Woo! And then down. Thinking about a swim. I've only got my bra and undies, I don't care. Turns out it really wasn't the sort of weather that you'd want to go swimming in anyway, which is lucky for all the locals. But the Bermagui pool would be absolutely spectacular in the summertime. It was spectacular now, but I believe that the colours really stand out, and it's a bit of a cloudy day, so you always get that murky water look. And because this is an ocean pool, there are lots of things that you can touch while you're actually swimming around in the water, or rather see, I shouldn't say touch. Does anyone else hate that feeling of seaweed touching their leg as they're swimming? We completed our big walk around the point and then we headed back past the caravan park and into town. We're still on our big walking tour at Bermagui. Just come out of here out of the wind. We've been up, we've seen whales, we've walked all the way around town. We stopped in the tourist information centre and found out other places we can go. Went to Mitre 10 because our hose busted yesterday. And now we're taking a bit of a walk up to the wharf and we're going to drop in and have a drink here at the country club. We had lunch at the wharf. Word of warning, watch those seagulls. I had something in my hand, a seagull's flown over my shoulder, grabbed it, ate it, and then just proceeded to have relationships with another female seagull in front of us just to rub it in. They're mean down here in Bermagui. And if you love ice cream as much as I do, you'd be happy to know they have a gelato clinic. Back to camp for a refreshment and a think about the weather. We were really just preparing for the night ahead, which happened to be trivia at the local pub. Bugle binders, that's us. Hey Jeff.
Bugle binders.
Bugle binders. Jeff's got a big fish next to him. That's a big fish. And we're playing trivia. And we won a round. I'm pretty sure it was the music round, but I can't be sure. So we're headed up to the cheese factory. And we're going to visit Tilba historic villages.
A, B, C.
Cheese. And Tilba is just that, a gorgeous little historic village nestled in the valley of some beautiful scenic ranges.
Saving our lives.
Okay. We got a general store.
Tilba General Store.
Yeah, we got public toilets.
The Tilba Market, nothing on.
We've got telephones.
The gallery bookstore.
Alright, I reckon this is a park. We probably should have parked where we just were. Go for a walk.
Two things. What for?
What do you mean, what for?
What are you saying you want to see?
You kidding me?
What?
You just want to drive through and go?
What?
We are at Tilba Historic Village. And I've conned Jeff into finding a car parking spot. He says, what is there to see here? Which is generally what happens because he just likes driving past places at 100 kilometres an hour and you go, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing that. And he goes, what? I don't know. If you watch this channel and you have a husband who likes to do that too, just puts his foot down and just keeps going because he wants a destination and never ever thinks to stop anywhere, let me know because I own one of them too.
Don't talk to me about it because I don't want to hear about it and I don't care.
What would you want to see there? You know, what's the point of stopping there? No, it's too busy. Oh no, hey, I couldn't turn.
Hey, put your hand up if you like cheese. Tilba cheese, ABC.
Yeah. There's a factory. Busy people inside working. We took a big long walk up one side of the street and down the other, taking in some of the history and checking out some of the local shops. It's passion fish. It was a really eclectic little town full of lots of wares, different types of architectural buildings. Reminded me a bit of Richmond back home. I did find the Mona Lisa of rocking horses. You need some help or advice? Just come to me because I've got my own special business here at Tilba Tilba. All you need to do is sit down and I'll give you a good yarn. We made our way back to the cheese factory. The hardest thing now was to actually choose what we were going to take home with us. Olives? Did you say olives? They got platters. Olives. So that was Tilba Tilba. We've got some cheeses and Jeff got a thick shake, and finally, for the first time, and not that we've ordered very many while we've been out, we've got a decent thick shake. So get some cheese, get a thick shake.
Last time you ordered a thick shake? Just
I ordered a thick shake. Yeah, I had a thick shake when we were with Corey and Ange somewhere. I can't remember where.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Don't remember that.
I remember the Paragon Cafe at Parks. I used to get a big thick shake.
She loves Parks.
Chips and gravy. Before I used to go roller skating.
Have we been to Parks? Have we done Parks on your little channel?
No.
Oh man, you love Parks. Hey?
On our way back to camp, we stopped in to check out Camel Rock. And not far from Camel Rock, we found Camel Rock Brewery. Camel Rock Brewery is actually situated at the Big 4 Caravan Park, which is a little bit too far out of town for our liking. If you stayed here, you wouldn't be short of things to do, however, and you still are central to all the things that you could see and do here in this region. That was written specifically for Jeff.
I don't believe I know what you're talking about.
While we were there, we shared a paddle just to check out what the beers were like. Good thing at the moment is that it hasn't started to rain. It's really windy, but it's not raining. We've been able to get out and about today because of the fact that it hasn't been raining, which has been really good, but it has been very, very windy. Well, we've come all this way, cellar doors shut, contemplating whether to bother going up and just having a wine instead of lunch. I don't know. Let's go check it out. The winery itself was gorgeous. Had a cellar door up the back, and this was the restaurant part. That was a bit disappointing for us.
It's a winery without any wine.
And also for them. They've had lots of struggles over the last couple of years with shortages and problems with the weather in this region, not getting a good harvest, which has meant that they don't have any, they haven't got any wines. But the ones that they may have, which they've run out of, they can't service because the cellar door's shut. And I asked if we could actually sit down at the table and just have a wine there at the restaurant. And we're not allowed to do that because their liquor license says that you have to have food. And we've just eaten, as you know, we went up to Tilba Tilba today. So
Tilba Tilba.
It's been it's a beautiful place, beautiful winery. Maybe here for lunch someday. Don't know, but not today because we're heading back to Hobart. So unfortunately, well,
What are we heading back to Hobart?
Well, we're not going back home after we've left Bermagui. We're not going to drive all the way back up here to have lunch at Mimosa Wines when we're heading down toward Melbourne, are we?
And supposedly it's finally raining. Well, as you guys know, we've been travelling around from Bathurst in a huge weather event that's hit Victoria now through Tasmania. And we have been so lucky because we've been dodging the rain everywhere we've gone so far. And it's saying here that rain is on its way to where we're staying, which is Bermagui.
This is on the menu. It's going to be tacos. May contain, what did I say? May contain wheat. We managed to get the van off our slab diagonally again and without any damage. And Jeff had to do a big lappy to make sure that we could get out the gate. Sadly, it was our time to leave Bermagui now and start heading down the east coast a little bit further. So we'll see you in the next one. If you're enjoying what we're doing, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.